Today we're taking a look at these MLB matches, which are happening on Wednesday, September 15, 2021, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. 5 plans are available for each and every one of you. You can get 30 extra betting picks all the way up to 270 extra betting picks per month. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting advice that ends up costing you a lot of money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks and advice. Cincinnati Reds vs Pittsburgh Pirates. Gutierrez had struggled his last 2 times out, so this was a nice bounce-back effort for the youngster. He brings a 4.05 ERA, 1.30 WHIP, and an 82/38 KBB ratio over 104 innings of work into this road tilt against the lowly Pirates. The Reds are in a battle for the final wild card spot in the National League. Coming into this series, they are tied with the Padres for the second slot. Every single game from here on out is a big one. Another meltdown like that would sing the Pirates' lullaby early in Wednesday's game. Keller has to do a better job of keeping his team in the fight to actually give them a chance to win. The Pirates don't need me to tell them they aren't built to play from behind with the worst scoring offense in the league. Our first betting advice is to pick Cincinnati Reds. The Pirates have nothing to play for at this point of the season, going through another painful rebuild. They're left gauging what they have for next season, and that starts with trotting out some more experimental arms through the final 20 games. It's been a struggle for the last decade. Our second betting advice is to pick under 9. New York Yankees vs Baltimore Orioles. The hope is that Cortez Jr. can have a great start considering the offense has struggled this season, scoring only 4.34 runs per game. Aaron Judge has 34 home runs, a .293 batting average, a .378 on-base percentage, and a .540 slugging percentage, while Giancarlo Stanton and Gary Sanchez have combined for 49 home runs, but the back half of the lineup has struggled. According to MLB.com, John Means will get the start for Baltimore. The lefty is 5-7 with a 3.42 ERA on the season and 22 starts. He's also already seen the Yankees twice. The first was a start in a row, and the second one being a September start only a few weeks ago. Our first betting advice is to pick Yankees, -1.5. The hope is that Means can have a great start as the offense has been one of the worst in the MLB, scoring only 4.20 runs per game. New York's offense, despite all the big names, continues to be an area of frustration for the visiting team Wednesday. They rank only 23rd in baseball in batting average and hits per game, while ranking 8th in home runs per game and relying on the long ball, which has been a massive advantage. Our second betting advice is to pick under 8.5. Chicago Cubs vs Philadelphia Phillies. The ceiling remains low, but Mills has mostly pitched well since joining the Cubs rotation, posting a 3.48 ERA over 15 starts along with a 1.38 WHIP over 101 innings. The Cubs have nothing to play for at this point of the season, so they'll continue to gauge what they have entering next year. It's almost guaranteed Mills remains with the club after posting a solid string of starts. It could be a long rebuild for Cubs fans. Ranger Suarez is on the mound for the Phillies as he logs his 36th appearance and 9th start of the season in this contest. He is 6'4" with 4 saves, a 1.38 ERA, a 1.026 WHIP, 30 walks and 78 strikeouts over 78 innings of work on the season. Suarez didn't factor in the decision in his last start, which came Thursday at home against the Rockies. Our first betting advice is to pick Philadelphia Phillies. The Phillies currently sit 2.5 games back of the final wild card spot with 20 games remaining. This series with the Cubs is crucial, as they can make up ground feasting on some lesser opponents. Philly still has an outside chance of making the playoffs, but they have to get it going as soon as possible, and that starts with this series against the Cubs. Our second betting advice is to pick under. Quick reminder, you can get 125% cashback bonus on your first deposit on our partner Sportsbook BetUS after you open an account using our link down below and use our promo code HIGHSTAKES when making your deposit. St. Louis Cardinals vs New York Mets. O'Neill has gone yard 3 times with 5 RBI over his last 7 games. Nolan Arenado .25 431 HR 97 RBI leads the Birds in RBI and HR, and he has gone yard twice with 6 RBI over his last 4 games. On the season, St. Louis is 36-36 on the road. John Lester gets the call for St. Louis as he makes his 25th start of the season overall and his 9th with the Cardinals after being acquired at the trade deadline. He is 5-6 with a 4.75 ERA, a 1.542 whip, 48 walks and 72 strikeouts over 119.1 innings of work. Lester didn't factor in the decision in his last start, which came Friday at home against the Reds. Our first betting advice is to pick New York Mets. Tyler Megill, 3-4 4.06 ERA 1.20 whip, gets the call for the Mets, and in his last start gave up 2 runs on 4 hits in 7 innings in a 10-3 win over the New York Yankees. Our 2MD betting advice is to pick over Colorado Rockies versus Atlanta Braves. There has to be a winner and a loser, and unfortunately for Braves starting pitcher Huascar Ynoa, 3.22 ERA, he was on the losing end in that last head-to-head meeting with Antonio Senzatella. He yielded 5 hits and 4 runs to the Rockies in a 4-3 loss. Antonio Senzatella gets the start for the Rockies on Wednesday. The right-hander is 4-9 on the season in 24 starts with an ERA of 4.11. Senzatella has pitched well down the stretch despite his record. In his last outing, Senzatella got a no decision in a 4-3 win over the Phillies. Our first betting advice is to pick Atlanta Braves, -1.5. Huascar Ynoa takes the mound for the Braves on Wednesday. Ynoa is 4-5 on the season in 13 starts with an ERA of 3.22. The right-hander got a no decision in his last outing, a 7-6 extra innings win over the Nationals. Ynoa gave up 2 runs on 3 hits in 5 innings, with 7 strikeouts and 2 walks. Our second betting advice is to pick under Cleveland Indians versus Minnesota Twins. The Indians' pitching staff has been average this season. As a team, they are around the middle of the league in ERA, hits allowed, runs allowed, walks allowed, strikeouts, whip, and batting average against. Cleveland's offense, while never elite, was good enough to put up runs and be dangerous on an inning-by-inning base in the past. This year's struggles show why the record has been so poor. Our first betting advice is to pick Indians. The Twins' pitching staff has been very poor this season. As a team, they are bottom 7 in ERA, hits allowed, runs allowed, home runs allowed, and batting average against. According to MLB.com, Griffin Jax will get the start for the Twins at home. The righty enters with a modest 3-3 record, but it's been a struggle keeping teams off the scoreboard, sitting on a 6.72 ERA. In 10 games started as a rookie, the potential is there, but the consistency continues to be quite a ways off. He hasn't allowed fewer than 4 runs in a start since August 16, but has been strong in 2 appearances against Cleveland this season. Grabbing 1 win in a bullpen performance in June, Jax has combined to pitch 10.1 innings against the Indians, allowing 5 runs. His recent form though makes it hard to imagine him having that same success on Wednesday night. Cleveland has been poor to average on offense this season. The Indians are bottom 10 in hits, batting average, and OPP. They are around the middle of the league in runs, home runs, RBIs, SLG, and OPS. One thing Cleveland does well on offense is they do not strike out. They are top 10 in striking out. Our second betting advice is to pick over. Good luck to all of you. That's it for this video. Stay tuned and stay safe for the next betting tips and advice.